Hello, everyone. My name is Danny, and this is going to be my review for The Rider. After a tragic riding accident, young cowboy Brady, once a rising star on the rodeo circuit, is warned that his competition days are over. Back home, Brady finds himself wondering what he has to live for when he can no longer do what gives him a sense of purpose riding and competing. In an attempt to regain control of his fate, Brady undertakes a search for a new identity and tries to redefine his idea of what it means to be a man in the heartland of America. This is a 2017 movie. It says 2018 too, so probably late 2017, early 2018 movie. It is rated R and it runs 103 minutes. It actually stars the guy named Brady, and he's actually named Brady. His last name is Gendro. I don't see anybody else that it stars. This is a very kind of different movie, so it stars the Gendro family. I guess it's actually really about them. They're actually the actors. Lily Gendro and Tim Gendro. And it also has Lane Scott and Kat Clifford, whoever those people are. So this is a very different movie. It's based on a true story. It has the real people in it, supposedly, and it's about their life and his life and what happened. And yeah, it's very raw and emotional and true. So, well, I'll just start off with the fact that it is rated R. It has lots of cussing, more than I kind of cared for. I didn't know what to expect out of this movie. I've never heard of this movie. I got it through the grapevine off, research. What I do every month, I go to the library and research movies to get that I've never seen before. And this came up, and I started watching it, and it was just cuss word after cuss word after cuss word. And I was like, oh man, really? And I thought it was going to be almost a documentary, to be honest. It was getting to be that point. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I can understand the realness of people in their natural habitat just cussing all the time, but why do we have to just be cussing all the time? And so that gets a little old after a while, like really quick. But then it kind of turns nice, and it's about this riding, a rodeo and stuff. And Brady is a nice young man and knows how to deal with fame and has a passion for doing what he loves, and he's really good at it, and he's great with horses, just training them and talking to them. He has like a horse sense as a trainer and as a rider, and he has a thing happen to him, and it kind of ends his career and everything. But after that, he's still able to be confronted in the supermarket, and he's still able to do what he wants to do while being a part of it somehow by training horses and stuff. So it's really kind of a cool movie in that sense. If you can kind of get past the first 20 minutes of just nonstop cussing and kind of crazy what happens, if you can get past that, then it kind of turns into kind of a nice movie. And then Brady, the other part of this, and I don't want to give everything away, but there are two people in this movie. We'll just say they have disabilities. I think it's kind of a different situation with one, totally different from the other, and that what they are is not really disabled, but Brady has the patience, he has the virtuousness, he has the guardianship, he has the friendship, the brotherhood, everything that encounters being a great guy and dealing with these two hard to deal with people. Brady just totally handles it, well, and just makes this movie almost really emotional at sometimes because it's just so beautiful. And it's great that that he can be that kind of human being, and you're always kind of cheering for him as things go along, and you kind of feel sorry for him that he's not able to do what he wants to do because of his accident, but you know he's such a great person that you start to cheer for him. So it's really nice watching that part. I can't stress how beautiful and wonderful those parts of the movie are. It's just tremendous. Basically, what happens with Brady as he goes on and he decides that he needs to stop making bad choices because he does make a couple of them here and there, and it kind of makes the movie kind of irrelevant at times because it has this scene and he knows he can't do that, and it has this scene and you can see he's not happy, and so you don't really know what's going to end up happening at the end because it just kind of repeats itself for a while there. There's a lot of talking, there's a lot of assuming things, and just talking about the same concerns, and there's no real movement forward. And so they make a lot of bad choices. But then when Brady does kind of get to the point where he starts to figure himself out and realizes that he can train a horse with, like that is kind of what how his involvement can be, then it gets really beautiful because the way he handles the horses is just tremendous, and it's beautiful, and it makes the movie all worth it really at the end. And so I don't know, I battled myself with this because I actually watched this movie like 2 days ago, and I'm just now doing my review because I want to be able to say the right things. I think I've done pretty well so far, but I want to stress that this almost feels like a documentary. It's a very beautiful movie and a very wonderful tale of somebody that had to deal with a hardship. I mean, we've got, the surfing movies and the football movies and the baseball movies and all the kind of sports movies. I just watched the Miracle Season. Somebody dies, the team has to overcome a challenge. Brady here has an accident. He has to overcome his, what he has to accept himself for what he is and find out what life is truly holding for him. Every kind of one of these movies is different from the other slightly, but it still has the same underlying message that you need to carry yourself through the hard times, especially when you think you're destined for one thing and you're actually meant for another, and you have a purpose where you are, even if you might not want to be in the situation that you are. So I think that's the main point of this. I think it was very good with what it was trying to accomplish, with what it was trying to display. The acting and the story were because they were true and they were real people and they weren't professional actors. So you can't really judge that. I'm not going to judge it. I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm going to give the writer a B because I think it earned it. I think the the way it handles itself for being a movie and wanting, to make sense and not just seem choppy 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 even though it is, I think it comes across well and tells its story, and it does have some conclusion, and you know good things happen, and people that are butting heads end up understanding each other and coming to a understanding of what this outcome can turn into something good. Everything about it is really great, and the animals, the horses, the everything is handled well. So I think it earned a B. So if you have never heard of this movie, like I didn't, and I'm sure nobody else has, give this movie a watch because it's up there with movies that are enjoyable, but you don't really know why. You just have to keep watching it because it's beautiful and it's interesting and it tells its story well. And you're going to be surprised with the two people with disabilities, how much they add to this movie. But, they're not a real big part of the story in keeping it forward. It's just enjoyable what happens with them. I mean, you just can't stop watching. You can't stop smiling. You can't stop just feeling great that the situation's happening, and these people with disabilities are still actually really happy with life. I mean, they could be down in the dumps just like Brady was, but they aren't. So there's a lot of lessons in this movie. It's really kind of enjoyable. So give it a try if you ever need a movie to try and find that's worth it. Look this one up. Thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and give some of them a watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. And enjoy your movies. Thanks a lot.